Stay sane. Welcome to How to Stay Sane with Karen Jordan. Today, we're fortunate enough to have nutritionist Marlyn Diaz with us of Marlyn Wellness. She is the author of the book Beyond Radiance, The Modern Woman's Guide to Health, Healing, and Happiness. And she has been in the food, health, and wellness space for more than 35 years. She's also done clinical work in that space since 2007. Welcome to the show, Marlyn.
Thank you, Karen. What a delight to be here with you and your community.
Thank you so much. So we're going to talk about nutrition and wellness today. So we're really happy to have you here. Can you tell us, first of all, what kinds of dietary changes do people need to focus on when it comes to healthy foods and their link to positive mental health outcomes? Are there foods that are linked to positive mental health outcomes?
Well, I would say the arching theme is to eat in the seasons, to eat fresh foods when possible, the highest quality that you can, and to really focus on blood sugar balance. And so there's many foods that can fall under that arching theme. And we can start with fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are great foods that are loaded with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. They're very hydrating to our cells, and they're loaded with fiber. And fiber helps to feed the gut bacteria. And then there's protein and healthy fats. And so there's an array of foods that we can be focusing on. And to me, everything is connected. And I'm happy to dive into each category as you like.
If you could help us sort of fine-tune that a little bit more so our listeners can have a better sense of what kinds of things they should look out for.
Great. So let's first start with fruits and vegetables.
Sure.
Seasonal is best. We want to eat for the seasons, with the seasons, wherever one lives. So if you live in Hawaii, pineapple might be in season. If you live in California, where I am, where we are, there's an abundance. And we want to focus on these seasonal fruits and vegetables that are growing during the summer, if it's summertime, and during the fall and winter. And that's because they're going to be at the height of the season, have the most beneficial nutrients, and our cells can really understand the chemistry of the makeup of these foods. And so let's dive a little deeper into that. Fruits and vegetables are loaded, as I was saying, with vitamins, minerals, fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And that fiber is going to feed the good gut bacteria in our gut. And so when we support our gut health, we also support our brain health. The gut and the brain are connected. It's called the gut-brain axis.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that the bacteria do for us is create something called butyrate. And butyrate acts as a signaling molecule in the gut-brain axis. It facilitates communication.
Okay.
And it really supports mental health and mental wellness and cognitive function. We also want to look out for healthy and high-quality proteins. Proteins are going to help balance blood sugar and help give us energy and support our well-being, our emotional well-being, and our physical well-being. And then healthy fats. Healthy fats fuel the brain. The brain is made up of a lot of fat, and so we want to eat the right kinds of fats also for the best quality brain health. And those are short-chain fatty acids, things that have like avocados,
mm-hmm.
olive oil, nuts, seeds, and organic when possible.
That makes sense. And you hear a lot about organic, of course, because people are told often, if you can, buy organic. But when it comes to organic and other healthy food choices, they can be, difficult to figure out and intimidating when you go into some grocery stores, especially specialty grocery stores. How can people make healthy choices without becoming overwhelmed?
Excellent. Eating seasonal can be a great way to support your well-being and save money at the same time, because usually there's an abundance of that product during that season. Shopping at farmers markets, getting things on sale when possible, stocking up, looking at the freezer section because things are usually flash frozen during the height of the season, and many times those can be great products, organic, and on sale as well. So there's many ways to eat healthy. Organic is a great way to do it, and you can go, as I was sharing, to your local farmers market, to your local shops. The idea is to buy as best quality as you possibly can and to get things in season.
Okay, that sounds very good. What about, and I love farmers markets, so I'm all in for that. What about, I've also read there are certain foods, fruits and vegetables in particular, that can help with concentration and focus. Like, for example, I've read about blueberries. So now I try to eat blueberries every day because I read they can help with your focus. Is that true? Are there certain foods that can do that when it comes to concentration and focus for you?
That's an interesting share. And my take on all of this is that eat the rainbow. Eat a variety of fruits and vegetables. Think about colors. Think about things, again, in season. Think about also the foods that work well with you and your body at the different stages and ages of life, because maybe we ate a food in our 20s and it may or may not be the best for us later in life. So when we look at blueberries, they're loaded with antioxidants and vitamins and minerals and hydration, and they are, as I was talking about earlier, feeding our gut microbiome. They're loaded also with vitamins and minerals that boost serotonin and dopamine, and these are neurotransmitters that regulate mood and help with our overall well-being. So many foods have many properties. Going back to the topic of butyrate, as I was speaking earlier on that, butyrate is something that can really support our brain health, and when we look at that, cooked and cooled potatoes can be great, especially the Japanese sweet potatoes. Cooked and cooled rice. My favorite rice is black forbidden rice. It has a lower sugar, lower glycemic load. It's higher in protein, higher in antioxidants. It's actually like a deep purple, and that is a great antioxidant, especially for our eyes and brain health. Beans and lentils, garlic and onions. So eating the rainbow and eating a variety of different fibers and colors can really support our overall well-being.
I'm glad you mentioned the black forbidden rice. I have not tried that, actually, so maybe I need to add that to my list.
Yeah, it is a great addition to a healthy eating plan, and it is easy to make. It takes about 30 minutes. You can make a big pot and meal prep on the weekend if you like. It goes great with so many things. It has a nutty flavor to it, and it's just a wonderful addition and high in fiber.
That sounds delicious. What foods can help lower rates of, for example, depression? Because I've also read that there are foods that can impact depression, for example.
Yes, protein and healthy fats. Many of us are not getting enough protein, high quality protein in our eating during the day. So adding more protein breaks down into amino acids, into minerals. This can support brain health. And then healthy fats. Healthy fats help support the membrane on the cell. There's an inner and outer membrane on our cells, and things that go into the cell, like the glucose and fuel that run our body, need to get in there. So the more pliable our cell membrane, the more healthy our cell membrane, the happier, healthier we're most likely going to be, and the better brain health we're going to have. And the brain is made up of a lot of fat, so healthy fat can really support our brain health. So we're looking at high-quality protein, healthy fats, root vegetables. Those are things like carrots, sweet potatoes, turnips, things that are grown in the ground, and they're especially great during the winter time and stews. There's a lot of minerals in our soil. Well, sometimes they're depleted these days, so we might want to get a little extra minerals, but we are looking at root vegetables. Root vegetables, I also look at them as grounding from the earth. They can help ground us in creating, in sometimes we might get into an overthinking loop in our heads, and root vegetables can help ground us down into our body. And then there's garlic and onions and things that support gut health. So when we move the junk out of the trunk, so when we cleanse and eliminate all the toxins, that too is going to help better blood circulation and better well-being and brain health as well.
And speaking of cleaning things out, is water something? Is that why it's so important to stay hydrated? Because water is something that also can help with that?
Yeah, that's a great question and an interesting topic. We definitely want to stay hydrated because our cells are going to function better. So it's allowing things to move in, the nutrients to move in, and then the toxins and various chemicals from the different processes that are going on to move out and be cleansed out and eliminated. So staying hydrated is extremely important, and it's about the water and the quality of water we're drinking, and it's also about the water content in the foods we're eating. So again, back to fruits and vegetables. Right now it's summertime, so there's a lot of juicy vegetables and fruits, and so we can stay very hydrated through a variety of different ways. Sometimes people juice or do soups. And so hydration can come in many forms, and it supports brain alertness, focus, fuel, and energy throughout the day.
Okay, great. That's very good to know. What tips can you give people to help them not overindulge, in processed foods, especially and desserts, this 4th of July weekend?
That's a wonderful question. And as I work with a lot of clients throughout the country, some just love their sweets and love sugar and love desserts. And there's nothing wrong with that in moderation, right? Going back to what many of our grandmothers said, everything in moderation. So my first couple tips are to eat protein first. Have protein, have some healthy fat. If you can, work out, make sure you're hydrated. And then if you want to indulge in a little sweet treat, great. A great quality berry, of mixed berries with a little coconut whipped cream can be a wonderful treat. And that's very 4th of July, red, white, and blue.
True.
So there's many ways that we can have our fun and have our cookies. We can upgrade our cookies. We can bake them with almond flour and really great ingredients. And if you're going to be at someone's home for 4th of July, consider bringing a high-quality dessert or making something yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And even when we do indulge, here's a few tips. My recommendation is to slow down and enjoy it. Chew your food, enjoy your family and friends. Eating together is a gift. It actually creates oxytocin, which is a feel-good hormone, which makes us happy. And so eliminate any guilt associated with it and really set yourself up for success by, as I was sharing, doing everything you can to set your day up so when you do indulge, your blood sugar will be a little bit more balanced. And so also, even outside the realm of July 4th, keeping snacks and sweets and treats to a minimum and to really focus on a well-balanced day, on a healthy, radiant eating plan, that's going to support aging well, brain health, and feeling our best. And so having your sweet treats, even I have a client in the Kansas area, and she's grown up on cookies and candy. It was a treat in her family, and she's now in her 70s and still loves her candy. So what we did lately is upgrade her chocolate to a higher quality, better ingredient chocolate so she can still have it. And chocolate has a lot of benefits and has some bliss feelings for our brain. And so it's okay to indulge. It's just, what are we indulging in? What are the ingredients? And why are we doing it?
Those are some really good tips. Thank you so much for those. What do you think about, doing advanced meal prep? Is that important that people be that organized, and can that help you actually eat better?
Absolutely. Everything that you can do to set yourself up for success, especially if one is working outside the home, perhaps meal prepping on a Sunday, using glass containers to store your foods, and chopping, cutting. Like, once someone gets home from a day of work, they might be tired and you might not want to chop, cut, and prep. So having that available and just taking that and throwing it into a saute pan or in an air fryer, which can save people a lot of time, that can be super helpful and a great way to stay on track with your healthy eating plan.
That's good to know. Is there anything else that people should know that you haven't talked about that you think it's important they keep in mind?
Yeah, something I learned recently, and I wanted to share this. I'm very much excited to learn more about what's called our mitochondria. Mitochondria are organelles that are in our cells. They take oxygen and glucose. They help us create ATP, which is the energy that the body runs on. We lose mitochondria as we go through the aging process. The mitochondria are in our muscles, in our heart, in our brain, and they are creating the energy and helping us to function at our best. So the more we can support our mitochondria, the better off we are going to be, the healthier we're going to be. So one of the things that I recently learned was to use the sun and eat outside when having your largest meal, especially a lunch that is filled with carbohydrates.
Really?
So carbohydrates can be challenging to digest for some, and the sun helps with digestion. So eating outside, again, going back to July 4th, if you're going to have your sweets, eat outside, have the sun help with digestion and helping to create more energy. And then when we get into the winter time, we want to pare back on heavy carbohydrates and lean into more meats and stews and healthy fats. And this is the time of more of the hibernation time. So summer's more of abundance, using the sun and light, and the winter is eating foods that have more grounding feeling, a grounding effect, and nourishing from the earth.
That is so interesting. I had not heard that. That's great to know. Thank you so much. We have been so honored to have Marlyn Diaz with us here of Marlyn Wellness, and her book again is Beyond Radiant, The Modern Woman's Guide to Health, Healing, and Happiness. But of course, all these tips apply to both men and women. So thank you so much. We were so happy to have you with us today.
Thank you, Karen. It's been a joy. And I'm just going to leave the listeners with everything. There is no one perfect way to eat to nourish your body. It's what works for you and your body at every stage and age of life. And it truly, everything is connected, and it truly is an art, an artful wellness that I'm encouraging you to have fun with.
That's great. What a wonderful tip. Thank you so much. I enjoyed having Marlyn Diaz on today's show. I learned so much. I hope you did. I'm definitely going to keep eating blueberries daily, but I'm also going to look at shopping seasonally. Those were some great tips. Thank you for listening. Join me next time on How to Stay Sane with Karen Jordan. How to stay